blackened, shredded wings. Cannon shells tearing through fuselages. Engines hemorrhaging oil. By every rule of engineering, they should have fallen out of the sky. Yet, some World War II fighters just refused to die. Today, we're not ranking fighters by firepower or kill ratios, but by raw, brute ruggedness. So, which 5 fighters were the absolute hardest to shoot down? Let's find out. Kicking off our list at number 5 is the Vought F4U Corsair. In terms of sheer damage tolerance, the Corsair was exceptionally difficult to destroy. Its fuselage used advanced spot welding, creating a smooth, low-drag skin that was also impressively strong. Combat reports are filled with stories of Corsairs returning home with huge chunks of their tail's surfaces just gone. The heart of the Corsair structure was a massive, inverted gull-wing mainspar, one of the strongest fighter wing designs of the war. This unique shape also gave the enormous 13-foot propeller enough ground clearance without needing long, fragile landing gear. While the outer wing panels were fabric-covered, the internal structure was incredibly rigid. Pilot survivability was a top priority. Protection included a 1.5-inch bullet-resistant windscreen and an armored seatback and headrest. After early models showed wing tanks were prone to leaks and fires, the main 237-gallon fuel tank was moved into the fuselage. Powering this beast was the Pratt & Whitney Double Wasp, one of the war's most durable engines. Being an air-cooled radial, it had no vulnerable coolant systems and could take incredible cylinder damage and keep on running. But for all its combat toughness, the F4U was demanding to maintain. Its hydraulic wingfold system often leaked in the corrosive Pacific air, and its flush, spock-welded skin was a nightmare to repair in the field. Compared to a riveted design like the Hellcat, those fabric wing panels were easier to patch, but they also rotted quickly in tropical climates. Coming in at number 4, we have the Grumman F4F Wildcat. Early in the war, the Wildcat quickly earned a reputation for absorbing punishment, especially when squaring off against lightly built opponents like the Mitsubishi Zero. By the Battle of Midway, the Wildcat's standard armor and self-sealing fuel tanks made it the U.S. Navy's GOAT durable carrier fighter. While some aces loved the early F4, F3 for its larger ammo load, it was the newer F4, F4 that set the standard for survivability. Grumman's design philosophy was simple: strength over refinement. The Wildcat's reinforced internal frame and stressed skin allowed it to withstand violent G during abrupt pullouts and desperate defensive maneuvers. Pilot protection included armor plating and a nearly 4-inch steel headrest. But the layout had its risks. The F4F4 version placed the main fuel tank directly under the cockpit floor, and that manually operated landing gear. If the crank slipped, it could spin backward violently, causing serious injury to the pilot. Power came from the Pratt & Whitney Twin Wasp, a 14-cylinder radial engine known for its reliability and damage tolerance. The engine could keep running even after losing a few cylinders, and its cooling system was compactly integrated within the cowling. The Wildcat's greatest logistical strength was its simplicity. Mostly free of complex hydraulics, its manually driven landing gear used a Chinan sprocket system that could be serviced with basic tools. In harsh, austere environments like Henderson Field, this mechanical simplicity proved invaluable. At number 3, we have a German masterpiece, the Focke-Wulf FW190. The FW190 gained a real survivability edge from its unconventional electrical systems. The landing gear and flaps were driven by decentralized electric motors, not centralized hydraulics. This eliminated the risk of a single hit, bleeding the entire system dry. Damage was localized. A severe WWII would disable only one function, not the whole aircraft. Structurally, the FW190 was exceptionally rigid. Its wing was built as a single, dual-spar unit that passed through the fuselage in a continuous box structure. This design provided immense torsional stiffness and resistance to twisting. The FW190's integrated spar often remained intact, even after taking severe damage. Pilot protection in the FW190 was among the best of the war. Armor included an 8mm seatback, a 14mm armored headrest, and a 60mm armored windscreen set at a steep angle for excellent ballistic deflection. The BMW 801 radial engine eliminated the vulnerability of liquid cooling systems and was heavily protected at the front by a 5mm armored ring. However, there was a weak spot. Its ring-shaped oil tank was set right in the nose, making it susceptible to frontal hits. A puncture could rapidly coat the windscreen in oil, blinding the pilot. But where the FW190 truly excelled was maintainability, thanks to its crafty eye, or power egg concept. The engine, oil tank, and cooling system formed a single modular unit with standardized. In frontline conditions, a complete engine change could be done in just a few hours, far faster than its contemporaries. In the runner-up spot at number 2 is the Grumman F6F Hellcat. The Hellcat recorded the highest survival rate of any U.S. Navy fighter in the Pacific. Its airframe emphasized redundancy and brute strength over finesse. And now, for the undisputed king of toughness, the number 1 most rugged fighter of World War II, the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt. The P-47 set the absolute benchmark for wartime fighter survivability. At a combat weight of roughly 7 tons, it represented the upper extreme of single-engine durability. It could absorb 20mm cannon hits, but its massive airframe, armored bulkheads, and sheer volume meant that German 7.92mm machine gun rounds rarely even reached vital systems. Structurally, the Thunderbolt was extraordinarily strong. Its multispar wing and rigid fuselage keel created a stable gun platform and tolerated immense G. Early variants did have an aeroelastic flaw that could sometimes cause catastrophic failure, but the later dorsal fin fillet corrected this. Even with those early issues, the structure itself could withstand more Gs than the pilot could. The P-47's cockpit was among the safest of the war, featuring a 38mm bullet-resistant windscreen and extensive enclosed steel armor that could easily deflect 7.92mm rounds. Its Pratt & Whitney radial engine was exceptionally resilient, capable of operating with severe cylinder damage. The real vulnerability wasn't the engine itself, but its support systems. The oil coolers and the intercooler for the turbo supercharger were the primary weak points. A hit from a German 20mm cannon could rapidly drain oil or disrupt induction, causing immediate power loss, especially at high altitude. Maintenance was a compromise between toughness and complexity. That complex turbo supercharger system was demanding and time-consuming to maintain. However, the air-cooled radial didn't have the fragile radiators and coolant lines of liquid-cooled designs. The P-47 tolerated rough fields and frontline abuse, earning its reputation as a fighter built to survive the harshest conditions and keep on flying. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments which rugged warbird you think deserved a spot on this list. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.